and welcome to EFL with Erin. Now, have you been thrown into teaching online? Have you done it before? Me neither. However, I have gone on a fact-finding mission on your behalf and I'm about to share some of the wisdom that I've discovered. Now, you're only human. This is trial and error. It's a learning process. Don't be too hard on yourself. How are you going to keep that rapport going with your class? You're not in the same personal space as them and you don't have the same control. Tomorrow I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks and practical activities to do this, so hold tight. Be patient with yourself and your class, okay? This is a new situation for everybody. We're all stressed, we're all distracted. This is not the ideal situation in which to teach, okay? So you have to remember you don't have the same control that you would in a classroom. Be patient with yourself and your students. Let's not forget movement. Just because you're stuck in front of a camera doesn't mean you can't start the session with a couple of stretches, for example, or why don't you take your camera and do a little virtual tour of your teaching space, or even if you feel comfortable with it, your house. Why don't you get your students to do the same? Use a whiteboard if you can. A nice one behind you like this where you can write a few notes, or a small one like this that you can bring close to the camera. If you can't run out to the store and get a whiteboard, how about some A4 paper? Okay, so a lot of you are using things like Zoom and Google Hangouts where you can create these breakout groups where students can work in smaller groups. But why don't you get those smaller groups to create a WhatsApp group so that you set them a task, they can communicate together within the WhatsApp group and then come back to you within a certain time with a completed task or a finished product. And don't forget the simple things like good lighting, good angles. Play around with it a little bit and see what works best for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you found it useful. Now, in the next video, I'm actually going to do a few more practical activities that you can do in your classroom to really get your students involved and to keep that rapport going. So I'll see you then. Comment below. Please subscribe.